minimize your exposure. So when you go to the doctor or the dentist and you need to take an x-ray, you notice that the doctor or the dentist or whoever the radiologist is, you know that they stand behind the screen. They get away from the radiation because they need to minimize their exposure, because they conduct this radioactive test so many times per day. They also ask you to cover up vital parts of your body that's not being x-rayed. You know, you might cover up your private parts during the x-ray examination. And then they go and stand behind like a screen or something to minimize their exposure. So that's how it is in life. Your number one objective in life is to minimize your exposure to negative people, hostile environments, toxic people, low vibration, and negative situations. You have to limit your exposure. That's what it's all about. That's why you shouldn't eat and drink the same thing every day all the time. Because the more frequently you do something, the higher chances, the risk you take of being poisoned. You have to limit your exposure to people, places, and things. You know, that's what causes disease. Disease, like I'm gonna say between 80 and 100% of all diseases come from overexposure. Living in the same house for 20 or 30 years, that's overexposure. Drinking the same water, taking a bath in the same water for 20 or 30 years, that's overexposure. Eating the same type of food for 20 or 30 years, that's overexposure. Eating the same cereal, the same sandwich meat, eating the same ice cream, drinking the same milk, even though milk is nasty and you shouldn't drink it, that's overexposure. Being around the same people, that's overexposure. Getting the same type of education, that's overexposure. That's overexposure. Watching the same news, sports, alcohol, cigarette, all that stuff is overexposure. It's all overexposure. And the disease or the chemical imbalance that's created by you taking too much medication, too much Tylenol, over the counter, you know, whatever it is, Pepto-Bismol, Tums, you know, whatever it is that you're taking, that's over. You're getting too much of it, and it's affecting your body. When you're around toxic people or negative people all the time, that's overexposure. It's okay to be around somebody negative, not necessarily negative, but a pessimist every now and then, because they keep you on your toes. But you don't want to be overly exposed to that kind of mindset, because it paralyzes you with fear. The pessimist, because they always think about something negative that's about to happen, and you can't live your life like that. So you don't want to ever be overexposed to any type of negative situation. You don't want to overdrink, overeat, none of those things. You need balance. You need to move around, first of all. You shouldn't stay in the same house for 10, 15, 20 years, maybe 10 years max. Never drink the same water. Never eat the same food supply. Get your food from different grocery stores, from different areas. Never drink the same water. You know, you got people that have been drinking Coca-Cola for 30 years. That's why they got diseases. That's why they have arthritis and diabetes. That's toxicity. You got people getting perms in their hair for 20 years. Overexposure. People been using Roundup for 10 to 20 years. Overexposure. You need to move around, people. You don't need to bring the same air pollution for 20 years. You know, you don't need to live in Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, in the city of Cleveland, Ohio, in the city of Detroit, in the city of Los Angeles. You need to move in the country for a little while. You don't need to live in no industrial park for 20 or 30 years. City of Baltimore, in the industrial area, breathing in those toxic fumes. Philadelphia, these old cities, all the manufacturing. You work in a coal mine for 20, 30 years, yes, you're going to get black lung disease. Overexposure. You've been overexposed, no matter where it is. You could be working in an office building. You could be working in a factory, in a warehouse. You could be working around paints and solvents. That's overexposure. You're going to get diseases. You're going to get cancer. People dying of cancer. No matter what, no matter what you do, if you overexposed, if you stand in front of the computer screen, if you're a news reporter and you stand in front of the computer screen, like the weather people, that's a big, huge radiation computer screen that they stand in front of. Overexposure. If you're staring at a camera all day as a news anchor, that's overexposure. If you're driving a bus for 10, 12 hours a day sitting on your ass, that's overexposure. It's going to reshape the shape of your ass. Your ass going to be flat because you've been sitting on your ass all day. Oh, yeah, but I work for every day for a living. But what you're destroying your body by sitting on your ass all day, every day for 20 years as a bus driver. You sitting on your ass for 20 years. That's unhealthy. They say sitting is the new smoking. That's unhealthy. All work is not good work. It's unhealthy. So just want to drop that gem on you real quick about overexposure. And you need to make sure that you are not in the environment of negativity and toxic people and toxic cities. You need to move around. You shouldn't even put the same gasoline in your car endlessly. Don't eat the same chicken. Don't eat the same eggs. You need to move around. You don't need to stay in the same city. You need to move and get around different people, different mindsets, different cultures, meet new people, be in new environments, learn new things. You know, be nomadic. Work different jobs. That's why you got to keep your debt low. So when you want to go and get another job, move around and do something, you're not tied to this one job. That's not good for your mental health. Overexposure. Overexposure. All organic food is not good. Overexposure. You know, they put some type of organic herbicide on the food. You don't know what it is. You don't want to eat tons of tuna fish in a can. That's overexposure to mercury. Oh, the tuna good for you, but you overexposing yourself to mercury. That's why you need to drink tons of water to flush out your system. In the same way you need to drink tons of water, you need tons of space, way more than 6 feet from toxic people. See, 6 feet may protect you from airborne illnesses, but what's going to protect you from mind viruses? Overexposure to music, movies, propaganda. Overexposure. Okay, people, I'm out.